That's the sound of 100 billion servings of instant noodles being devoured around the world every year. 3 minutes. That's all it takes to transform a brick of dried noodles into a steaming, flavorful meal. But have you ever wondered how this quick and tasty meal goes from raw ingredients to your bowl in just minutes? Starting from a wooden shed in post-war Japan to a global phenomenon, this is the journey of the instant noodle. The birth of instant noodles. First, let's take a quick trip back in time to see how it all began. Picture a post-World War II Japan, a nation struggling with food shortages. In steps Momofuku Ando, a businessman with a vision. Inspired by long lines of people waiting for a warm bowl of ramen, Ando saw an opportunity to create a quick, nutritious meal accessible to everyone. In 1958, after a year of experimenting in a tiny wooden shed behind his house, Ando emerged with chicken ramen, the world's first instant noodles. These noodles came as dried bricks with separate seasoning packets, not too different from what we see today. But Ando didn't stop there. In 1971, he had another light bulb moment while on a trip to the United States. He noticed supermarket staff breaking up his chicken ramen, putting it in cups and eating it with forks after adding hot water. This observation led to the invention of cup noodles, transforming instant noodles into a truly global food. But how are these convenient meals made today? The ingredients. What goes into your noodles? Here's what actually goes into making instant noodles. And it's simpler than you think. The main stars of the show are wheat flour, water, and salt. Just 3 basic ingredients form the foundation of your favorite quick meal. Depending on the type and brand of noodles, you might find a few extra players in the mix. Some recipes include palm oil, potato starches, and various gums to enhance texture and shelf life. And let's not forget the all-important seasoning packets that give each variety its unique flavor. Now, here's a fun fact. Ever wondered why some instant noodles have that signature yellow color and springy texture? It's all thanks to a special ingredient called kansui. This alkaline solution, usually made from sodium and potassium carbonates, not only gives the noodles their distinct yellow hue, but also contributes to their chewiness. But remember, while instant noodles are a convenient and tasty treat, they're not exactly a nutritional powerhouse. They're often high in sodium and low in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. So, as with all good things, moderation is key. Now that we've got our ingredients, let's move on to how these simple components transform into noodles. The noodle-making process, from dough to dehydration. It starts with the mixing of ingredients. There are giant industrial mixers working tirelessly, blending tons of flour with water and salt every day. This creates a sturdy, elastic dough that's crucial for those perfect noodle strands. The water absorption level is key here. Too much, and the flour won't hydrate properly. Too little, and the dough becomes sticky and unmanageable. The sweet spot? About 30–38% of the flour weight. Once the dough is mixed to perfection, it's time for a little R&R, rest and relaxation. The dough is left to chill out for a bit, allowing the gluten to relax. This makes the next steps a whole lot easier and ensures that your noodles will have that perfect chewy texture. Now comes the fun part, transforming our dough into noodle form. The rested dough goes through a series of rollers that flatten it out. Imagine the dough starting out thicker than your arm and ending up thinner than a sheet of paper. But this process isn't just about making the dough thin. All this rolling actually helps develop the gluten in the flour, contributing to the noodle's signature springiness. Once we have our paper-thin sheet, it's time to cut it into those noodle strands. Special cutting machines, armed with rows of sharp blades, slice through the dough sheet like a hot knife through butter. In the blink of an eye, we've gone from a flat sheet to a mass of noodle strands. These cutters are pretty high-tech. They can be adjusted to create noodles of different widths and shapes. Thin ramen-style noodles, wider, flatter noodles, whatever you can think of. Now, the freshly cut noodles take a quick sauna session, getting steamed for about 1 to 5 minutes at 100 degrees Celsius. This step is key for developing the noodle's flavor and texture. But it's not just about taste. The steam also gelatinizes the starch in the noodles. In simpler terms, it breaks down the starch structure, making the noodles easier to cook later on. But to make these noodles instant, we need to remove almost all the moisture. And there are actually two main ways to do this. 1. The classic fry. This is the most common method. The noodles take a quick dip in hot oil, usually at about 140–160 degrees Celsius for just 1 to 2 minutes. This rapid-fire frying does two important things. First, it dehydrates the noodles, bringing their moisture content way down from 30–50% to a mere 2–5%. Second, it creates those tiny holes you see on the surface of the noodles. These holes are key to helping the noodles rehydrate quickly when you're ready to eat them. Pretty clever, right? 2. The hot air method. Some health-conscious brands skip the frying and opt for a hot air drying method instead. In this process, the noodles are dried in hot air at about 70–90 degrees Celsius for 30–40 minutes. This results in noodles with a slightly higher moisture content of 8–12%, but significantly less fat. The trade-off? These noodles might take a couple of extra minutes to cook. Each method has its pros and cons. Fried noodles have that classic instant noodle texture and cook super fast, but they're higher in fat. Air-dried noodles are lower in fat, but might not have quite the same texture and take a bit longer to prepare. From flour to finished product, that's how your instant noodles are born. But we're not quite done yet. Those noodles might be shaped and dried, but they're still missing something very important. Flavoring and packaging, the final touches. Let's start with the seasoning. How do they pack so much flavor into those tiny sachets? It's all thanks to a carefully crafted blend of ingredients. We're talking salt, sugar, soy sauce, and various spices, often combined with dehydrated vegetables, meat, or seafood. Some premium varieties might even include separate packets for oil or additional toppings. But the seasoning isn't just about taste. It also plays a crucial role in preserving the noodles. The high salt content helps keep microorganisms at bay, ensuring your noodles stay fresh for months. Now, let's talk garnishes. You know those little bits of veggies or meat you sometimes find in your noodle cup? They go through a special drying process too. Some are air-dried, others are freeze-dried, and some even get zapped in the microwave to dry them out. All this effort is to make sure they can hang out with your noodles for a long time without spoiling. Once we've got our noodles, seasonings, and garnishes ready, it's time to bring it all together. The noodles are carefully measured and packed into plastic or styrofoam cups or plastic packets. The seasoning and garnish packets are tucked in alongside, ready for you to add when the hunger strikes. The packaging itself is a marvel of food science. It's designed to keep air and moisture out, ensuring your noodles stay fresh and crispy. Some packages are even designed to double as a temporary bowl. Before these packages head out to stores, they go through rigorous quality checks. Teams of expert tasters sample each batch to make sure the flavors are just right. And from raw ingredients to the finished product on your shelf, that's the journey of your instant noodles. The global impact of instant noodles. From Momofuku, Ando's wooden shed to massive factories churning out billions of servings each year, instant noodles have come a long way. These noodles have become a global phenomenon, adapting to local tastes wherever they go. In 2018 alone, the world consumed a staggering 103,620 million servings of instant noodles. China and Hong Kong led the pack with 40,250 million servings, followed by Indonesia with 12,540 million. But South Korea takes the crown for per capita consumption, with each person eating an average of 75 servings per year. Instant noodles have become more than just a convenient meal. They've been a source of quick nutrition in times of disaster, a late-night savior for students, and a comforting bowl of warmth for busy professionals. They've truly lived up to Ando's vision of providing accessible, easy-to-prepare food for all. If you found this video satisfying, don't forget to hit that like button. And for more tasty content about food, make sure to subscribe to our channel. There's always more to discover, so stay curious and we'll see you in the next video.